So Gaffer, we're a few days on since the game now, as we've always had a chance to digest things, the Eastbourne match. Has your opinion changed of things at all since then?
No, I think what I said at the end of the game, was that we were disappointed to, of course, draw the game in the end and just pick up the 1 point. And it was 2 points lost because we got ourselves into a good position in 2-1 up, and everything was going well. There was a good atmosphere and the lads were working hard. I mean, it was probably the most, it was the most we'd run, as in sprints, high speed runs, total distance, since I've been here. The reason why that was because we worked hard to win the ball, and then we gave the ball back. And then we had to work hard again to get the ball back. We want to get most of our high-speed runs, sprints, when we're in possession of the ball. So we've got to do a lot more. We've got to do a lot better in retaining possession than we did the last game. So we work on it every day. It's our game, and Brett had somebody marking him. So, it was one that it's taught him a lesson that you have to, he's had a great season, but you have to lose people sometimes, you have to, but for whatever reason, and we didn't get our game going for long enough, and hopefully we can get that back very quick.
You mentioned Brett there. He seems to be having his own goal of the season competition at the moment, and it shows the respect that he's held in by the other teams in the division, that he's now a key player in this side, and like you said, he's trying to be marked out against that.
Yeah, well, it's up to other players to step up to the plate, so that they have to worry about not just 1 or 2 players. They have to worry about 11 players, 10 outfield players, and really when we're going well, that's what happens, because then everybody interchanges, everybody's full of confidence. We got to fight through this little patch like we did just before we got the 4 wins on the trot, and a couple of results have gone for us and a couple haven't gone for us. We've got to be careful about looking at the league table too deeply, other than we're going to be games behind, because again Saturday we play Hereford in the FA Trophy, so we would miss what would normally be for all the other teams that are not in the trophy. They're playing another game, so we'll be 1, 2, 3 games in hand of a lot of the teams. A lot of the teams that are behind us have played 2 games more. And certainly some of the teams above us are the same. They've all played more games than us. Now, that's not points in the bag, it's just games in the bag. But if we do have a good run in the FA Trophy, then we're going to be more games behind. So we're going to need to probably try very hard to get a bigger squad. Look forward to getting the injured lads back to create that bigger squad. They're all narrowly getting closer, but they can only be ready when they're ready. A lot of them had seen specialists this week, and there is sort of a definitive day that they all, not day, but they've all got games where they're striving for. A couple of them are in after this game against Hereford. There's a couple, 2 or 3 that will be back, we think, and then beyond that we played Chippenham, and I think some may be back for the Worthing game. So that's what we're trying to. That's the words of the specialist for each individual. So we're hoping to get another 7, 8 players back into first team Saturday to Saturday, or Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday football.
I guess the other thing that you've always got to guard against, Gaffer, is bringing back players too early. It was good to see Isuzu back, and actually, even if it was a brief cameo last Saturday.
Yeah, again, it's a matter of confidence. if somebody's been out for a long time, or it's an injury that they might have had before, they've got to grow in confidence that it's not going to break down again and be another 10 weeks or something. Especially the ones that have been out. Asa hasn't been out that long, but some of them have been out quite a few weeks. So we've got to just make sure that before we put them in, they're confident to jump their highest, run their fastest, challenge, tackle, interceptions, without thinking about their injury that they've just had. So that's the mental state we've got to get them into, that they're not even thinking about the previous injury.
It's probably too simplistic to say that during the 5-win game winning run, the team started more often than not strongest. It's tailed off a little bit, and obviously the results likewise. But it's important to remember, obviously, there's two teams that are both trying to start well, isn't it? And if you don't start well, the reaction that you want is probably similar to the result that you had on Saturday, where your team actually came back from a goal behind to lead.
Yeah, we just, we needed to create a few more opportunities than we did, and that's why we say we mustn't give the ball away as many times as we did. When we reviewed the game, that was the highlight of what we was highlighting, more the low light. In the chat that we have with the lads, we always have a review. Most of them were disappointed in their own games. I think what you got with this group of lads, there's not one of them not trying. There's not one of them that's a problem in the dressing room. There's not one of them that's disliked by the other members. And so I think we take it we take it badly because we're all trying to do well for each other, and we are a close unit. And I can be in somebody's face and be saying you're not doing enough, and they know I'm doing it for the right reasons, for them basically, and obviously for our football club. And they all do get disappointed. I know you asked me a question last week, but they all do get really disappointed and feel that we've let the fans down. We all do. I do, Downsy does, the squad do, the directors do, but you feel that you've let the supporters down sometimes. And we work really hard to try and, get a run of games where you can be back where we were previously, which was at least second. And that's what we're all working very hard to do. But it's a very strong dressing room as far as passion for this football club is concerned. So then you got a chance. You got a chance to fight through it, and that's what you got to do, fight through it.
So different competition this weekend, and of course it is a competition that you've won before with Yeovil Town. Obviously at the season, I'm sure that Emily's priority was to win the promotion Gatwick League, but where does the FA Trophy sit in your list of priorities at the start of the season?
It's the highest one at the moment, because that's our next game. I'm sorry that I always say that, but that is the answer to it. And you want to win. You want to go into every game wanting to win it, whoever it is, because it breeds good habits. We were disappointed with the result last game, and so we want to take that out of our minds and win the next one. Because every time you lose one, you have to work even harder if you can to start a run of wins, or you need people coming back so that you can leave someone out and might be a bit tired. He's worked very hard, but you go have a rest, be ready for next Saturday. If it's Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday, and some might have to miss a Tuesday, but we haven't got those numbers yet. And like everything else, we've been out there. These are not excuses. We've been out there, and we've had people that we've chased, people that we've got very close to. But we're competing with a lot of teams, not just at this level. Teams that, if you want to get back to the National League and into the Football League, you've got to find National League and Football League players. Now, sometimes they want to come. And sometimes they don't. Sometimes their agents don't want to come, their wives don't. But we're hoping to make a couple of signings in the next couple of weeks, if not before. So you get to a certain stage where something happens and it goes through. Sometimes it doesn't go through for whatever reason. So, but we've probably been speaking to tens of players as opposed to one or two, and because you have to have that many people, so that obviously a lot of them keep their options open and see what's happening through January. They don't jump into the first people that ask them if they're interested in joining us. But there will be, I keep nodding because we've got our injury list behind us and our players, but if I could make those 7-8 signings up there, then and they're ours, if we could, then there's 8 great signings there that we can make, and we've got to be aware of, because we can't fill the squad just for numbers. They've got to be better than that group up there, because they'll be coming back.
And finally, Gaff, looking at the opponents on Saturday, a little bit unusual because you're playing a fellow side at the same level, but obviously because of the geographical split at National League South and North. Not a team that we would have played this season. What do you know about Hereford?
Well, I'm sure they'll know as much about us as we know about them. We've all got Y-Scout. We all can watch the games and dissect it and pause it and move it on again. So you have to know the opposition's strengths. Obviously, you need to look for their weaknesses as well, as they will do with us. You do your preparation, you do all your tactics, your own. If certain players for them who are their danger players, what we've got to look for. But let's make us the danger players for them, and then if you get your own game out, then that will bring out the opposition's deficiencies. But everybody thinks like that, and the North and South has got very professional nowadays, and there's some good managers about, very good managers. And so tactically, your players have to go out there and perform what they've been doing all week, and be a tough game. They're doing okay. They're doing well. They lost their last game. I think they've lost a couple of players through a sending off and an injury, but not as much as us. But we're looking forward to it. It's a nice little stadium. Been there many times. And it'll be a good one to win, because to get into the last 16 for either team will be, you start looking at the FA Trophy very differently once you start getting into not differently, but you realise you've only got a couple of games before you get to the final.